Hi. Oh,
Hi.
hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's Amanda and Nisanka here. This is, by the way, our first episode of many, many more to come. Today's topic is how to recognize when you're being manipulated. Stay with us. We've got a case study to share as well. Funny as it may sound when we read it, but not funny for many people because if you are with a narcissistic person, whether it's a colleague, friend, boss, intimate partner, parent, sibling, doesn't matter. If you are likely to get emails and texts like that. So we're gonna get one out today. We're gonna read it and we're gonna just what do you call it? Dissect it. Like in a lab, dissect it, and then tell you how to recognize manipulative tactics. Stay with us. Amanda, I'll let you say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. It's lovely to see you again. And I'm really looking forward to diving deep into this email and, helping you all recognize the signs of essentially, as Nisanka said, when you're getting manipulated. And, clarity is power. So when you know what to look out for and you know what to expect, it helps to take away a bit of that fear element or the other heightened emotions going on, because you can be like, I see what's going on here. That's gaslighting, tick, and etc. etc. So
Amazing. So that's Amanda. Amanda is a high conflict divorce coach and predominantly supporting women. And I am your co parenting coach. I help parents who co parent with narcissistic partners. So before we dive into it, I am going to share an email I received today into my inbox, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm going to read it out loud, okay? So this is a marketing email, which you know very often you get, but this one particularly stood out to me, and I thought we're going to do something about it. And I spoke to Amanda, and Amanda said, "Yes, this is a good one." So I'll be hear how it goes. Hi Nisanka, stay with me, okay? Hi Nisanka, hope you're well. I'll be 100% honest with you. I didn't find your company when looking for a relationship and life coach in Brighton for about a month. So I ended up finding someone else, unfortunately. Ding, manipulation, guilt tripping, um, and also undermining, coming across rather entitled. Um, it's disappointing because your program looks so much better than him. If he'd ever read my program, he would know I'm not going to succumb to any of these manipulative tactics. So he's not even cared or bothered to read it. However, to be honest with you, helping companies like yours avoid the problem we're having here. The fact that you're not on people's mobiles when you need to. Oh, what a savior. To be more specific, I run this Facebook ad team for relationship and life coaching exactly like you, Nisanka. And we've scaled multiple businesses to and exceed 1 million per month. Did you seek consent from me? Did you ask if that's what I wanted? You know, so there's no consent there. Look, Nisanka, I'm not saying we can scale your business to $1 million yet over the next 4 months. You know, trying to be humble and show some humility here. I'm not buying it. But being completely realistic, I know we can least double or triple your current discovery calls in 2 to 3 months. Humility. And right next to it, what you get is the future faking and the hope, right? Just note these things and we'll dissect them all in a minute. And then scale your business from there, future faking. But I prefer to keep this email as short as possible. This is a classic narcissistic, toxic ending to an email or text. If you've ever received something like this from your siblings or intimate partners, you know they make it look like they're all being caring and nice towards you, that they're being considerate towards you after projecting everything, and they're going to end it up with something like, but I prefer to keep it short and simple. How nice. Because I prefer to explain to you, Nisanka, how to do it in a free online meeting. Oh, well, thanks. You've just undermined me, manipulated me, gaslighted me, um, and not saw any consent from me. Now you're wanting me to get on the phone with you. Um, if you're interested in taking your company to the upper, I don't know, echelons, I would like to show how we can make this happen. I would like to show this. See the entitlement and the grandiosity there. I would like to show you. There isn't me in it. There is no equality in it. Can make this happen for you with an online free meeting. Nothing is free with these kind of people, I can tell you that. Best regard, whatever it is. And then towards the end, send from my iPhone, Nisanka, as if they're trying to make it very personal. So that's the email. What did you think, Amanda? I'll take it. I've described a little bit. Why don't you take it from there?
Well, first of all, I just want to caveat that I apologize because my dog always decides to sit right next to me. He's snoring away. So if you hear strange noises, but getting back to the email, well, I think you pointed out all the hot spots to look out for, and it's quite obvious what they're intending to do, but a lot of people they don't see the underlying intent, and they're really these type of people are really preying on people's vulnerabilities. So being in a weak moment, well, maybe they're right, maybe I do need help, and maybe and then you easily get sucked into this. And that is essentially the type of strategy that narcissists often use, is they will prey on people's vulnerabilities. And that's really risky. And it's about taking a step back and putting in that pause, like, how am I feeling in this moment? Why do I feel that way? And just instead of, because often they'll present things in a way so that you dive right in, and then you want that carrot that's being dangled in front of you, so you jump in, and before you know it, you're headed down a track that you possibly don't want to be. So it's about taking a breath and pausing and thinking about what's going on here. But there's a lot more. I mean, there's a lot more going on in this email. But
Thanks, Amanda. And you're absolutely spot on with that one. How you respond to emails or situations or conversations like that is to just step back and then take yourself away from it. When we say take yourself away, we actually say physically take yourself away from it. Just put the phone away, go for a walk. Or if you're in a conversation, excuse yourself, walk away from it. If you're in the middle of a meeting, just say, I'll think about it and then I'll come back to you later. So have these several strategies and just walk away. But I want to go back to some of the things that was highlighted, that we picked up on this email together. That manipulative tactics, the narcissists often use these manipulative tactics. They come across as if they're going to save you. This happens very often in your businesses, in day-to-day businesses. Your bosses will say things like, this is your baby, I want you to look after it, this is your baby. I used to say to those people who used to say to me, this is your baby, I said, no, I'm not looking, this is not my baby, I've got my own baby at home, I'm just looking after your baby. But sense of humor doesn't work for everybody, and not everybody comes up with those sense of humorously things. But what my point is, they will come across like they're trying to save you, that without them, that you're lost. This is the whole point of this email. Look, I was looking for a relationship coach, but I couldn't find you. But I'm here to save you and I'm here to rescue you. I'm going to give you a solution for that. Who asked you to? That's the question you should be asking. But who asked you to?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I'm not sounding all cocky here. That's not what my intention is. 3 years ago, I would have responded to this person. I would have responded to this email, and I would have booked a call with this person, because 3 years ago, right at the beginning of my business, or 3.5 years ago, right at the beginning of my business, I had no money. I had just left my previous relationship, and I was just stumbling on this whole coaching world, online world. I was like completely lost, and I hadn't connected with my values in the business. I was desperate at the beginning. So when we respond to a person, whether it's dating, whether it's a job, whether it's a friendship, when we respond from a place of desperation, it's very easy for us to be trapped in this kind of manipulative things. I probably would have taken this call 3.5 years ago, thinking, oh my goodness, thank God this person has a solution. Despite knowing this isn't right, despite knowing that, oh, I really don't like the language, I would have still gone ahead with it because I was desperate at the time, right? You're nodding your head. Would you like to add something there?
No, I was just thinking to myself that, well, I 100% agree, first of all. Secondly, I was thinking, the lucky part is that you probably won't hear a lot more from this person. I would imagine. In reality, when you're dealing with someone who's highly narcissistic or toxic or whatever, you will hear most probably from them, especially if it's an intimate partner or family member, etc. And if you don't give the response that they want, there's going to be quite a reaction. And often they can flip from, being the savior to the victim and go, well, I was just trying to help. And,
I know that's a very classic thing, isn't it?
So, yeah, in a sense, this helps us kind of dissect what's going on here. But of course, when it's, and also, of course, when it's an email from someone in your life, then you still have that choice. I'm going back to the, having the choice of whether you react or respond or don't respond. And as you're saying, you wouldn't respond now because you see through it, but you may have in the past. And it's, I think along the way we can help people almost decide when is it appropriate to respond, when not to. That can be quite difficult, especially when you, first of all, don't know what to look out for. Also, those heightened emotions that you have often, which is very normal. And, working on self-regulating, I think it's huge in these scenarios. But it's almost like learning also a new language, how to communicate in a way that essentially reduces the conflict, so that you don't engage in the craziness, essentially. There's so much more to be said on this topic, and maybe I'm going a bit off.
No. Your points are so important. You're absolutely right. Now, it's easy for us to take an email like this and have a laugh about it and have a chuckle about it because, like you said, somebody we don't know, somebody's not relevant to us, we can easily forget and move on. We can block, we don't have to engage or interact at all. But it's very different when you're in a relationship, intimate relationship, or when you were born to a family like this. You don't have a choice. They are there. They're your family. And you're a child as well, so you kind of still depend on them financially, emotionally, socially. You depend on them. And then when you have siblings, they're just there. You will have the pressure of getting on with these siblings despite the pressure, despite the manipulation. If you stand on your feet, then you'll get into trouble for standing your ground. So you've got that, especially in intimate relationships, when narcissistic abuse usually takes place behind the closed doors, away from other people. The pressure just mounts every day. It's like Amanda says, that then the manipulation intensifies, the guilt tripping intensifies. It might start as a light thing, but if you say no, then it'll go, after all I have done this, after all I have done for you, right? Which is a classic narcissistic statement. After all I have done for you. Well, in partnerships, if you're we will try and keep it to intimate relationships so that we stay in topic, because it's both are relevant as well. So in intimate relationships, you go into this as a partnership, so it's equal partnership, right? And certain cultures don't give that equality to women, sadly. I mean, I'm from an Asian background, and I was not brought up to treat myself as an equal to a man, right? So the men in my house always got had a better opportunity, or had a bigger, louder voice than me. My voice had to be louder and more rebellious in order to be heard, and then I become the nasty one in the family, the one that who doesn't listen. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, in an intimate, healthy relationship, there's an equal responsibility to look after each other. So to use something like "after all I have done for you" is first heartbreaking. It's grief. It's a death to your relationship. For you, as the person who is an empath, who is a kind person, who went into this relationship with trust, it's grief for you, right? It's hurtful. And then another classic is, this is for the family, this is for us, this is for us, I am doing this for us. You cannot use us as a term when the other party does not agree. Then it doesn't become us, it becomes about the other person, right? And sadly, you can't have a conversation with a narcissistic partner. Conversations don't work, communications don't work with them. I saw a post the other day. It's really interesting. Somebody said, in narcissistic relationships, it's a bit like being arrested. Everything you say will be will be used against you.
It's one of
Right?
my favorites.
I know everything will be used against you by the narcissistic people. So this manipulation just intensifies and intensifies. And because narcissism is a spectrum as well, you can see the passive aggression from some people, sulking, or the moany, behavior from some people, to the other end of using physical violence against you in these situations. So not as much as you recognize this manipulation, the solutions aren't that easy either. Anything you would like to add, Amanda?
I mean, it's such a broad topic, but I was thinking as you were speaking that it's that guilt tripping, that it, and if you don't see it, and if you've grown up with it as well, then oftentimes someone very narcissistic will, they will have figured out obviously what kind of person you are, and that you are susceptible to being guilt tripped, and so they will use that as one of their main tactics. So and it can be so awful when, as you said, when you're a kind, empathic type person, you want the best for people, you have a tendency to want to fix situations, etc. So it's almost like the perfect combo, because you have this person who wants to take, and they want whatever they want, and everything is, they can't see things from another person's perspective. Everything is with a hidden agenda, in order to get their, many people talk about now, but their supply, narcissistic supply.
Yeah.
And so they have all their various tactics to get this supply. And again, I may be going a bit off track here, but there's so many elements that we can talk about.
Absolutely. So it brings us back to what we said we were going to share, that is how to recognize when you're being manipulated. So we've kind of highlighted a few things. One is you're not being asked for your consent. That is so important. If you've not been given an opportunity to express whether you like something or you don't like something, whether you want to take part in something or you don't want to take part in something, you've not got a choice and you haven't been asked for your consent, right? Yeah, you've got to watch out, right? You've got to watch out. Maybe you think, okay, we've been in a long relationship, he knows or she knows what I'm up for. Maybe you do have that trust. As long as it doesn't upset you, as long as it doesn't undermine you, yes, sometimes we go ahead and we make decisions. That's fine. But if the other person's decision making often makes you feel like you've not been a part of it, you've not been asked for your consent, then yeah, that is a problem. That is a question there. So you are being manipulated there. Second is guilt tripping. If you are being guilt tripped, you are being manipulated. There is a hidden agenda. There's a hidden agenda. And and this is why it's so important to bring children up with choices and a voice and their own voice as well, so we don't threaten our children, guilt trip our children to be compliant because it's easy for us or it's all we know. Things like, I mean, I was in teaching for almost 20 years, and things that I've heard, after all I have done this for this child, I quit my job for this child, I did this for my child. It's incredible you've made those sacrifices, but that's your choice.
Yeah.
Your child is not meant to carry that responsibility on their shoulder. They didn't ask to be born. You made a choice to bring that child to this world. So stop guilt tripping your children, because then they're more susceptible for these guilt tripping manipulative tactics later on in their life, because that's what they get from their parents. So consent, guilt tripping. Third is being pressured to make decisions, not giving you your space, right? That giving me the pressure. Oh, you've missed this opportunity. You missed $1 million opportunity. The pressure to make a decision.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're being cornered in any situation, right, and you are pressured to make a decision, that's manipulation, because all of us go into this fight or flight response in our body. That means the prefrontal cortex shuts down and we can't make decisions. So we make decisions from a survival point instead of it being an informed choice, an empowered place. So if you feel under pressure to make a decision, highly likely that you're being manipulated, right?
Absolutely. And it's that kind of, they prey on the fear of losing out.
Yes, fear of losing out. Do I worry about losing $1 million? No, because that's not even in my business plan to make $1 million. That's not in this business anyway. And that's the other thing. They come across like they know you, but they don't know you, right? You're being manipulated. They come across like they know you. And flattery. Oh, you've got an amazing program. You've not read it. If you'd read my 20-page long program, I'm not going to succumb to any of these things, because I've been very open about things, right?
That reminds me of mirroring. It's hard to say mirroring. But when you meet someone very narcissistic, they will mirror
you,
what you're doing. They will ask lots of questions, get to know you, or look at your mannerisms. And I know in coaching they do that too, but it's not with a malicious intent or anything. But then, so they'll become the person of your dreams by mirroring what you want to see.
Oh, absolutely. They mirror you. So anything you do, they're like, flattery, flattery. Oh, it's just amazing. The most beautiful. You're the most handsome. I've never seen anybody like you before. That level, then you're being manipulated into doing something, and then I think we've highlighted a few things there: the consent, guilt tripping, fear of missing out, plenty of flattery, which doesn't have any, sort of solid foundation to it. I think flattery is very different to being recognized who you are, and that takes a long time. And also rushing things. pressure and rushing things, probably important if you're dating, if people want to like rush things and manufacture things and manufacture this chemistry, these are all manipulative things. So that's how you're being manipulated. So we would really like to listen to your questions, any questions you may have. Amanda, would you like to add something?
I had something in my mind, and now it was more, a little bit more on what you were saying about when you meet someone and there's a lot of heavy manipulation going on, and everyone pretty much knows about the love bombing now, but there will be certain things that they will say that drop in, like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm in high school, and if let's say you haven't given in to going the next stage and to get romantic, physical, etc., they'll throw something in to make you feel guilty or pressured to go that one step further. So I just wanted to throw that in, because
thank you. Yeah, no,
it can be really subtle.
Yes,
as well.
Subtle, something like ghosting you for a couple of weeks, and because you said no, or saying something like, oh no, I'm going to cancel that date now, or something like that. And this is why knowing you and not being in desperate energy is so important. You knowing you. And like I said, had I not figured out my values, if I hadn't been aligned with my own values, something like that would have made me do something, or it would have at least raised certain emotions within me. If it wasn't for this person, I would have just done something else instead, if I was like triggered. So know yourself. And when you feel uncomfortable because somebody is doing something that you don't like, right? Rather than trying to rationalizing or justifying that behavior from the other person and sort of turning that blame inward, which is what narcissistic people are so good at teaching you to do over the years when you're with them. They teach you to turn that blame inward instead of having a reflective conversation with them, because they don't have the ability to have a reflective conversations. Therefore, the blame becomes yours. Everything becomes your problem. So you've probably become so good at this already. But if you are, the best thing is to start writing things down, like just journaling things down. When you journal things, you get it out of your system in a way that you express it. And also then you start noticing you've got evidence, you've got a written record of that. This date that happened, this day that happened, this date that happened. Actually, every time I brought something up, this is what's happened. So you kind of come to a realization of something is not right here. You may not realize what exactly is going on if you're not aware of the narcissistic abuse or toxic antagonistic personality types. If you're not aware of it, you may not label it. You may not recognize what it is. But still, you will still be able to recognize that something is not going right, and it can't be me. So you'll start questioning, being curious, wanting something different for yourself. These are all good points to have.
Yeah. And just furthering on from your point, which is really useful, is that, if you're questioning, you often end up questioning yourself, and there's that huge element of self-doubt. Just writing things down and what happened and the date or whatever helps with that, to recognize the gaslighting, because something happens, they say, the narcissistic person says, well, that didn't happen and I didn't say that, and you're not remembering right, or whatever it is, and you go back to your notes, you're like, oh, but I really did. So it really helps clear that up, which is a problem that many people face. And helps with that kind of cognitive dissonance, which we probably don't have time to dive into that, but
yeah, but that'll be another topic for another day. So I hope you learned something from this. And if you have got any questions, do drop a line to us, and you can DM us, either to Amanda or to myself on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever we are actually posting this. This is going to be a YouTube video to begin with. Just let us know, get in contact with us, share your stories with us as well, because when you share your stories, that means we find different ways of helping you. Every story is very different. Every story has a different element to unravel. Every story has a different element to unravel, because narcissism is a spectrum, and you as individuals are very different in a way you respond to these situations. Every story has a different element. So get in touch with us, and if you've got any questions, let us know. If you want to check our services, Amanda is available. I'll let you tell your contact details again, Amanda.
Yes. So yeah, I offer one-to-one online sessions. I also have an SOS service, so that, if you need help kind of out of normal office hours, you can text me, and then we would arrange for a time to speak, which can be really helpful when you're going through a divorce or breakup from someone very toxic, and when other professionals are not available. And but I would recommend a one-to-one session, first of all, to get to know your story, etc. And also I offer a kind of email service, so very much on topic, but to help you kind of unpick things, help reduce the triggers of, maybe you don't even have to read the emails, and I will translate in a sense. But anyways, so you can contact me at amanda@amandahale.co.uk, or via my website www.amandahale.co.uk, or via the Instagram account, which again, narcissism_recovery_mental.
Brilliant. And you can always find me on Nisanka at coachingwithnisanka.com. You can see the email on there. And the website is www.coachingwithnisanka.com. You can find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. I am a lot more available and around on LinkedIn than my other platforms, I must say. So DM me any questions, and we will bring them to the table, and we will have another discussion like that. Thank you for listening, and your support is very helpful. So if you found this helpful, please do spread it. First of all, help us grow our businesses and provide the service that we offer. And the second of all, it is also helping your friends, families who might be going through this situation to get to know that support is available there. Because this is not something that people come forward very often to discuss. If people are really ashamed, embarrassed, some of them don't know that's what they're going through. So it is only through this content and making them available that the people start questioning. So please do share. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.